The Miami Dolphins completely collapsed against the Tennessee Titans. They were up 28-13 with only a few minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, and they absolutely imploded on themselves. You can blame Mike McDaniels and Tua Tagovailoa for the way that their last two drives went, 3 and out. Then you have Tua who gets sacked on the final play, and there was questionable play calling. They ran the ball in situations when they should have thrown it, and they threw the ball in certain spots when they should have ran it. The fact that Miami lost this game doesn't really surprise me, because I was already a little bit on edge about them being a double-digit favorite against a Mike Vrabel coach team. And if you keep up with Tennessee and you've watched this team play under Mike Vrabel the last couple of years, you would know that this is a team that you can never count out. They're a scrappy football team. They're going to fight. They're going to claw their ways to wins. And they're a team that you can never count out. You can never overlook. Like, the Dolphins lost this game despite the fact that Tennessee gave them the rock 2 times. You had the muff punt. Then you had the fumble when Will Levis was trying to pitch the ball to Derrick Henry. And you would have thought at this point the Dolphins had this game in the bag. But that just goes to show you the kind of team that Tennessee is under Mike Vrabel. They're gritty. They're scrappy. And I don't think that nobody else in this game embodied the personality of Mike Vrabel better than their young quarterback in Will Levis. He had another game. We haven't seen him have a performance like this since his debut against Atlanta when he threw 4 touchdowns against them. He came out and he gave us another reason why we should have more confidence as this guy being the franchise quarterback of the Titans for the foreseeable future. This dude was poised. He was really calm with pressure in his face. He made some really accurate throws downfield. He had a big throw to number 15. He made a couple of big throws to DeAndre Hopkins. And how about the people who thought that DeAndre Hopkins was washed up? Tonight, he definitely showed that he still has a lot of juice left in the tank. And he is on the regressing side of the football career that people label once you hit 30, that's when you start to hit the stage of regression. But Hall of Fame level players like D-Hop regress at a slower rate than the average player. DeAndre Hopkins still has 2 good years of high level football. We saw a play in this game when he pretty much mossed 2-3 defenders in Miami secondary. And late in this game, he had a big run after catch. Like, DeAndre Hopkins was fucking unstoppable in this game. And when you look back at Will Levis, this is one of those games that, if you're a Titans fan, gives you a lot of confidence in him moving forward as him being the future at QB, something that you kind of have had the issue with the last couple of years. And I wasn't really that high on Will Levis when he was coming out of Kentucky, but this dude does fit the personality of this team really well. Tough, gritty. He had a tough run that almost resulted in a touchdown earlier in this game when he's running guys over. He's putting his body on the line. This is a rough rider. And this dude has the locker room rallying behind him. He was going on the sideline. He was getting amped up. He was fist pumping guys. Guys were getting amped up for him because of his performance. And then we're down 28-13. And when it seemed like everything was going wrong and this game was over, that's when this team locked in and they just completely outperformed the Miami Dolphins. This was a game that Miami had to win. Tennessee winning this game still doesn't improve their chances of making it to the postseason. It doesn't really matter about the draft positioning because Mike Vrabel doesn't give a damn about tanking or draft picks. He wants to win. But at 5-8, the Titans don't really have a great shot at making it to the postseason, even if they do finish out, only because the AFC is so tough that you can be a 10-win team and still not make it into the playoffs. Miami, this was a really big loss for them because now you're 1 game back of Baltimore for the 1 seed. And then you look at the next month of football for you, the New York Jets, with the way they played against Houston, they are going to be a tough outing. The Dallas Cowboys, you got the Ravens, you got the Bills. That's your last 3 games of the season. This is a huge loss for Miami, especially when you look at their hopes of trying to make a deep playoff run. Having that 1 seed would have been so huge for them. And Tua, I'm not going to put this loss all on him. The offensive line didn't look good, but you look for a guy like him to have big moments in the fourth quarter, to be able to get your team to win, especially with the ball in his hands. You would have thought that the Dolphins could have at least made it into field goal range. But Tua didn't really step up in this game, but the rest of this team didn't really do their part as well. And then where was Tyreek Hill? The closing minutes of this game, he was nowhere to be found. Like, I'm really puzzled in how Miami decided to go about the last final minutes of this game. Questionable play calling, questionable clock management, and then just poor execution out of the offense. When you're Mike McDaniel and you're regarded as one of the best offensive minds in the sport, you would think that your offense can at least get you in the field goal range and you can kick the game-winning field goal and win this game. I never felt like Miami was going to dominate Tennessee. Mike Vrabel was just too good of a coach for that to happen, but you at least would have thought with this being one of the best teams in the AFC, they would be able to pull out a tough game like this if they're a legitimate Super Bowl contender like how some fans claim they are.